Welcome into Bengals Breakdown by Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey here with a look at a rather surprising claim made by ESPN, who normally hates the Bengals. But ESPN's Mike Greenberg thinks that Jamar Chase can be a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL by this time next year. That's a pretty big jump and bar to clear for the Bengals and Chase, given that he hasn't played football in over a year and hasn't played a down in the NFL. Then again, Chase was profoundly productive at LSU and also has instant chemistry with his new quarterback, his old quarterback, Joe Burrow. Here was Greeny's argument. Mike Tannenbaum took Justin Jefferson. He was the second best player on his own college team a couple of years ago, behind Jamar Chase, the rookie who that year, at the age of 19, playing with Joe Burrow, who will be the quarterback in Cincinnati, became the only college receiver ever with 20 touchdowns and 20 yards per catch in any season. Did I mention he was 19 years old when he did that? The world has forgotten how good he is because he opted out of last season. But he's going to be spectacular. He's reunited with his college quarterback. I think Jamar Chase is going to hit the league by storm. Although I am drinking the Jamar Chase Kool-Aid as well. He was my number 5 overall player in this year's draft, my number 1 receiver. Bit hyperbole there to say the world's forgot about him. The dude went number 5 overall. Nobody's forgotten about Jamar Chase. He was the number 1 receiver taken. That's a bit extreme. I also would argue, as great as Jamar Chase was at LSU, and there's a very good point there about Justin Jefferson hits the league running and Chase was even better than him in college, not always a one-to-one comparison. I think if your expectations are that Jamar Chase enters the NFL and instantly becomes a top 5 wide receiver, I think that's pushing it. I think that's setting the bar a little bit too high. For example, let's say Jamar Chase puts up over 1,000 yards, puts up numbers similar to, say, Justin Jefferson or CeeDee Lamb last year, and he's a top 15, top 10 receiver, whatever. Every single Bengals fan is going to be profoundly excited if they kept their expectations reasonable. If it's, hey, he's instantly a top 5 receiver, that's a lot, man. There's only 5 of those guys. There are even arguments. You can add it to 10 or whatever. So I think that's pushing it just a little bit too much. That said, this is a Jamar Chase stan account. I am a big believer that Chase and quarterback Joe Burrow are going to be the future in Cincinnati. I like the pick of Jamar Chase. Yeah, you want to protect the offensive line, which the Bengals did upgrade, by the way, this offseason before they made their draft picks even. Making the wide receiver room into the obvious strength of the roster is a good thing to help make sure Joe Burrow continues to develop. So I'm not going to ask you if Jamar Chase is a top 5 receiver right now. What I will ask you, though, is if Jamar Chase will be a top 5 receiver at some point in his NFL career. Get your votes in. Y for yes or N for no.